Item Number: SCP-039-CA. Object Class: Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-039-CA is to be housed in a soundproof humanoid containment chamber at Site D. No fewer than 3 audio/video recording devices are to be active at all times, with an additional 5 audio recording devices on standby as a failsafe to ensure the staff's immediate awareness of a potential containment breach attempt. If SCP-039-CA begins to sing, the site is to enter a Code Yellow lockdown in preparation of containment breach. In the event of a breach, any personnel who hear singing must report the location to security immediately. No personnel may enter the containment chamber under any circumstances. Dr. Rose may request permission from the site director to enter the containment chamber, accompanied by armed escort, for testing purposes. Description: SCP-039-CA is a humanoid entity approximately 167 centimeters tall, resembling a girl with bluish-green hair. 2 growths resembling ponytails extend from the sides of its head, which it can control as if they were an additional pair of appendages. It lacks any facial features, with the exception of a single eye that takes up most of its head. SCP-039-CA has no need for food or sleep, has never been observed to blink, and appears to be sapient, though attempts to interpret its emotional state are mixed at best. Subject is capable of moving by floating through the air as if unaffected by gravity, alternating at random intervals between smooth, slow motion as if being pulled through a viscous liquid and quick, erratic jumps in position. Despite not having a mouth, SCP-039-CA is capable of singing in a voice described as like a computer trying to sound like a girl. The vocalizations produced by SCP-039-CA closely resemble Japanese, though translations of its lyrics seem to hold little relevance to SCP-039-CA's apparent mood or desires, and the resemblance is believed to be coincidental. This singing is most commonly produced when it is about to attempt a breach of containment, and continues for the duration of the breach. However, on certain occasions, it will begin singing with no apparent desire to breach containment, seemingly just to watch the security protocols play out. Shortly after SCP-039-CA has begun singing, it will begin to move erratically, no longer transitioning to its smooth motions. The longer it sings, the more extreme its movements become, eventually reaching a point where its proportions will begin to elongate and shorten rapidly. While in this state, it's effectively intangible, with parts of its limbs able to pass through walls with no resistance, eventually bringing the rest of it along. As no method of physically preventing SCP-039-CA from singing has yet been found, it is unknown if this is a property of its singing or if it's an inherent ability that it simply chooses to sing as it performs. In addition, any person who listens to this singing for at least 5 minutes will begin to experience hallucinations of being watched by several eyes similar to that of SCP-039-CA. This effect has been observed even while listening to recordings of its song, though it appears to have no lasting adverse effects. Incident Log 039-X1. On the day of the California Pride Parade, Dr. Rose arrived at the site wearing a rainbow flag pin affixed to her uniform. SCP-039-CA began singing, and while Dr. Rose was en route to the safe room, it breached containment and intercepted her. Upon seeing her, it immediately ceased its singing and seemed to freeze in place. Dr. Rose remarked that it looked like it was staring back and forth from her pin to her face. After several minutes, its face began to turn red and it produced a series of strangled-sounding noises, theorized to be a failed attempt to begin singing again. It then covered its face with its arms and head appendages, and returned at top speed to its containment chamber, whereupon it sat curled in the corner, continuing to cover its face for the remainder of the day. Incident Log 039-X2. One day after the previous incident, SCP-039-CA again breached containment, this time without any of its usual warning signs. Site D was set to high alert and breach protocol was initiated. 4 minutes later, it was located at Site K in SCP-214-CA's cell. As Site K was not readily equipped to deal with an anomaly of this threat level, there was a considerable delay between the time it was located and the time a sufficient security force had assembled. During this time, SCP-039-CA displayed no hostile intent towards SCP-214-CA, and in fact appeared to be conversing in an unknown language which 214-CA was able to understand clearly. The following is a transcript of the event.
Well, you've come to the right guy. What can I help you with? Well, I wouldn't be much of a love guide if I couldn't even give a little bit of advice, would I? Now, what's on your mind? I see what you mean. Take a seat, won't you?
SCP-214-CA directs SCP-039-CA to have a seat on its bed. SCP-039-CA complies and stares at its feet as if nervous. SCP-039-CA proceeds to produce various lyrics from songs that have previously been recorded while in containment. SCP-214-CA listens intently, nodding and occasionally asking clarifying questions, all in a gentle tone.
I think I know what you need to hear. Sometimes the gap between you and the object of your affection is a little too hard to overcome without some help. In your case, that gap ain't so much physical as it is, professional. You're in a bit of a tough spot since you're not exactly in a position to negotiate a private meeting with her, but if I was you, I'd try and take it easy at first. Let her and the bears guarding her know you're not a threat.
Bears, trucker lingo for police officers, typically state troopers. It is assumed that SCP-214-CA is referring to Foundation security personnel.
You know, sometimes not being able to use your words is more of a blessing than you might realize. It's easy to get tongue-tied, as I'm sure you already know. So sometimes less is more. You don't gotta use your words if your actions speak for you. Be nice to her. But don't overstep any boundaries and feed the bears, because that's a quick way to get her reassigned.
Feed the bears. Getting pulled over. Likely a metaphor for getting in trouble with Foundation security.
Honey, you're no more of a monster than I am. You and me, we can do things others can't, but that doesn't make us any less deserving of love and affection. Anyone that tells you otherwise just doesn't understand what truly makes lovers like us tick. That's more like it. Now I reckon you ain't gonna have a clean shot home for much longer. If I were you, I'd brush your teeth and comb your hair. Get out of here before the bear trap bites.
Clean shot refers to a lack of law enforcement ahead. How SCP-214-CA was aware of the current state of disarray of Site K's security personnel is unknown. Brush your teeth and comb your hair. Prepare to encounter a traffic officer ahead.
Don't you worry none. And hey, if all else fails, you just get in touch with me and I'll send one of my notes her way for you. How's that sound? Now go stack them 8s.
Stack them 8s. So long and good luck. At this time, SCP-039-CA fled SCP-214-CA's containment chamber and was soon located back in its own containment chamber at Site D. No further containment breaches have been recorded in the time since this incident. Post-incident interrogation with SCP-214-CA pending declassification. Addendum. Requesting a change in classification from Keter to Euclid, 039-CA has demonstrated a willingness to cooperate and a marked improvement in behavior over the last several months. She is not a threat. Dr. Rose. Request denied. Do not forget that this is still a dangerously unpredictable entity of unknown origin. It has already breached containment several times despite our containment procedures. And we still don't know how it gained knowledge of SCP-039-CA and its location, nor how it managed to get all the way from California to Pennsylvania undetected in a matter of minutes. We simply do not have the luxury to become attached to any of the entities under our care. You would do well to remember that. O5W.